Hello everyone, welcome to this week's Q&A. I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. And if you're off on school holidays, I hope you're having a great first week, everyone. And you are managing to find some time for you. Don't forget, you are number one. Make sure you are working on your fitness, even if that looks a little bit different, even if it's shorter workouts or it's not as often as you would like to, just keep showing up for you and treat your workouts as appointments, like you would the hairdresser or the dentist or the doctor, because you are the most important person to show up for you. Don't ever forget that. Okay, let's move on to this week. But before we do, squaddies, 3 days until your August challenges start. We've got 2 August challenges running, and one of them you could be in for winning a big prize. So definitely look out for that one and just get involved. It's also a fantastic way to, one, of course, challenge yourself, but two, and particularly the one where you win a prize, it's a really good way to stay accountable throughout the month of August, which can be a little bit tricky because the holidays, the barbecues, if you've got kids, they're off school, if you've got grandkids, they're off school. So it can be a little bit trickier to navigate. But the more accountable you stay, the more you're going to be on it for when you go into September as well. So think now about paying it forward. Even if the routine looks a little bit different, that's okay. It's all right. Just keep showing up for you. Okay, let's go into the questions, everybody. Got some awesome questions this week. Really, really interesting questions. So we'll start off with nutrition, then we'll move into exercise, and then we're going to move into mindset as the final section, gang. So firstly, what are your thoughts on taking collagen shots? Now, great question. And collagen is really having a moment. There's so much hype around collagen and collagen supplements, whether that be in skincare or whether you are taking it orally. But in my personal opinion, it's hyped up massively. There are some studies, albeit small and quite often industry backed as well, as in the companies who are selling them have funded these. So watch out. Yeah, that there might be a bit of evidence that it can potentially help with joint pain and potentially help with skin elasticity, hydration, reduce the look of wrinkles, potentially may help. So just notice I'm saying that, emphasizing it, and that is taking it orally, not in creams. Topically, so putting it on your skin, it's not been proven to help at all. So potentially taking it, yeah, orally, but not by the skin. But the idea is basically that so just a little bit of background about what collagen actually is. It's a structural protein that we find in our skin, in our bones, in our joints, in our tendons and our connective tissue, etc. And we naturally produce it, but we produce less of it. So it slows down as we get older, particularly after the age of about 30. And there are things that you can do to accelerate that slowdown as well, like sun exposure, stress, poor nutrition, not looking after yourself, essentially, smoking, for example. And then that can lead to wrinkles, it can lead to weaker joints. So the idea of it is the collagen that we take in through a supplementation is broken down into amino acids, and your body uses that to rebuild collagen where it's needed. It's not like it's sending collagen directly to your skin or to your joints, like, here you go. It's still broken down. So the idea is it might nudge the body to make more collagen in the right places. So, and that's also why it's a bit of a might. So what I would say really, if you were looking at taking collagen for your muscles, for example, whey protein is a million times better. So stick with having a high protein diet or supplementing with whey protein, like protein shakes. If you were thinking about your skin, make sure you're wearing SPF. Make sure you're eating a balanced diet with enough protein. You're getting vitamin C into your diet as well. Make sure you are strength training. Make sure you are not smoking. And if you are smoking, you get yourself on a plan where you can leave that behind, and make sure you're getting enough sleep and looking after your stress. Those things are key to probably what you're trying to do. If it's in terms of your skin or your joints or your muscle tone, those are the things that are going to be the most effective. Collagen might be a tiny bonus, might be, but just don't expect any miracles from it. So that's kind of the current science on collagen, but just be careful because there are not that many studies on it, and they're often quite small, short term, and like I said, funded by the companies who are trying to sell it. And the thing about collagen is it's having a moment. It really is having a moment. There's so much hype around it. So there are a lot of companies who are making very good profits off it too. But if your goal is to look after your skin, well, make sure you've got a really balanced diet. You're actually putting SPF on your skin, and like I said, you are regularly exercising. That also really helps your skin. Strength training is key too. I hope that helps. Any tips for snack options to satisfy my sweet tooth? Oh, you're not alone. I'm a sweet tooth as well. Particularly, I would say, in the afternoon, evening, maybe if you've got into a bit of a habit of having something sweet after dinner or in the afternoon, the day. So yeah, rather than fighting it, let's find out how we can work with our sweet tooth, but in a smart way. So a few healthier alternatives, if you like, or more nutrient dense alternatives would be things like Greek yogurt with berries and maybe a drizzle of honey on top. So you've got something that is high in protein, but also quite creamy, quite sweet, and hits the spot. Dark chocolate can be a good option, and maybe a handful of nuts. So that satisfies a sweet tooth. And just, having a few squares, make sure we don't eat the whole bar, depending on how big the bar is. So if you like dark chocolate, that can be a nice option as well. And with the nuts, just make sure you are looking at portion sizes. The other day, I had a little bowl of, just like a little bowl of nuts. I quite often have nuts mixed with dried fruit. And I just thought, out of interest, I'm going to see, I'm going to eyeball what I think a good portion would be, to the eye, and then see what a portion actually is. The actual portion, I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, I know this stuff anyway. I know roughly what it is meant to be, but it just kind of highlighted that, a portion of nuts, it really isn't a massive amount. And I know that a lot of people get a bag of nuts and go in for handfuls at a time. If fat loss is your goal, the calories can rack up very quickly. So they're very, very good for you, very healthy, should be part of your diet, but just watch out for portion sizes. Another thing that some people do is they freeze like grapes. I am yet to do this, and I'm really intrigued. I really need to try freezing grapes, but they can be really nice. Or you can even have things like frozen banana and blend that, if you want to make some sort of smoothie, blend it with a splash of milk, peanut butter, whatever you want. That could be quite a nice little sweet treat. Or you could have some oats, maybe with some nut butter, some honey and protein powder, and roll them into little balls and make them into little fridge snacks as well. They can be really lovely. And I did put a cookie recipe on my Instagram the other day. So there's another one that can also satisfy your sweet tooth. So have a little look at that. I put a healthy cookie recipe up on my Instagram too. So there's just a few ideas. But generally, fruit does tend to be quite sweet. So fruit is always a good option. And you can freeze bananas and actually have them almost like as ice cream as well, can't you? Sort of. Sort of. A lollipop stick in the end of it. I hope that gives you some ideas. So, do you recommend any protein shakes or drinks? Could this be a way to have more protein in the morning? I don't really like yogurt, so I'm looking a way to still have my cereal, but get some protein in. Thank you. Yeah, protein shakes can be a brilliant option. And if you really like having cereal in the morning, but you're just not getting enough protein in the morning, they can be a really good thing to have on the side. So just a scoop of, to be honest, any protein powder's fine. My protein is a bit of a go-to, so getting a nice flavor, so a strawberries, summer berries or something like that from my protein, scoop of that with some water, or some people like to add milk into the protein shake and have that on the side. It really depends. So I just go on Amazon and I alternate between a few different proteins. So I get Warrior protein, sometimes I get Optimum Nutrition protein, sometimes I go to B&M Bargains, I get Moose protein. It's really nice actually. It's like a crunchy flavor, crunchy as in the chocolate bar. Yeah, I forgot what honeycomb, that's the word I'm looking for. It's a honeycomb one. It doesn't really matter that much. If the purpose is to get some protein into your diet, of course you want to be also making sure that we're going for ideally one with less additives, and one that is it's more natural, it's not got added sugar in it, etc. Yeah, at the end of the day, go with what you enjoy too, and you don't need to get anything too fancy pants. Just literally go onto My Protein. You could even get the little samples where you just try a few different flavors and see what you like, or go onto Amazon and just have a little look and see what you like. The only thing I wouldn't recommend, me personally, I just do not like the pea proteins or the soy proteins. I can have a pea protein in a cereal bar, but that makes me feel so ill. I do not like the taste of it. I don't think it tastes very nice. Some people will probably say that it does. I stick to whey protein, whey concentrate or whey isolate. That's what I go for. And yeah, that's my go-to. But if you're intolerant to dairy, you might want to look at pea proteins and soy proteins. You don't necessarily have to drink them in a shake. Another thing that I would probably not recommend is plain protein. Absolutely minging. That's the only word for it. It's ming. I would not recommend that. Just get a nice flavor. Another thing you can do, this is what I actually do. I personally don't like protein shakes. I don't like really drinking them. I used to. I just don't really enjoy them. I'd rather have them with something. So I know you don't like yogurts, but this for everyone who does like yogurt, if you put a scoop of protein in yogurt, you whip it up and it's like it goes into this little fluffy dessert. It's quite nice. But what I normally do is I put it in my oats. So I will have protein in my oats. Again, some people don't like that. Some people think it's like sometimes can be like a little bit bitty. I don't personally find that. I just like whip it up. It depends on when you put the protein in as well. I kind of put it in halfway through cooking it. But yeah, just you can whip that up and say, for example, you've got yourself a bowl of protein chocolate oats that you can just put some little toppings on. And that can be quite nice. So a few little ideas there. But some people even add a scoop of protein into the milk, with the cereal. You could even do like half a scoop and just put that in. Some people like to do that. So it's about finding what you enjoy and what you like. So I would just say go for ones that are around about 20 grams of protein per serving. So like per scoop, round about 20 grams of protein, and just try a few different flavors and see what works for you. But it can be a really, really great way to get some more protein in. If I get up and do the early classes, I don't have time to have a drink in advance to get hydrated. And if I do both classes on a hot day, I can drink a litre or so of water during and between the classes because I'm so thirsty. Is there any disadvantage to drinking so much water whilst exercising? It's completely normal to feel thirsty when you're doing back-to-back sessions and when it is hot. So please don't worry about that at all. I mean, ideally, I would be saying, have a bit of something before you do class, like have a few sips of water to start off more hydrated. But I get it that early mornings can be hectic and actually you might want to stay in bed for as long as possible too. So I would say it's not necessarily a problem as long as you're not like gulping it down all at once. Because it can make you feel a little bit bloated, a bit sicky, a bit kind of heavy, and it's just better to sip a bit at a time. Just have sips throughout. So maybe sip before, sip during, sip in between, just little sips. So it's not all in one go. And if you feel like, it's hot at the moment and you're losing a lot of sweat, you might want to think about putting some electrolytes into your drink. So like a little electrolyte tablet or even like coconut water. That can really, really help, and that can help you keep hydrated as well. But if you're thirsty, that is your body's way of saying, hey, I need a drink. So well done for listening to your body and drinking. And that is important. But yeah, as long as you feel comfortable in your body, like it's not a huge deal. Just I would say sips ideally, or get an electrolyte in there to get more hydrated. Let's move on to training and exercise. So question number 1, what is the right blend of cardio versus strength classes per week? I know we need to do both and that weight loss doesn't come from exercise, but calories in versus calories out. But what is a good mix to support this? Yeah, I really like this question. And also the acknowledgement that, we don't exercise to lose weight. We exercise to stay fit, strong and healthy. And yeah, absolutely. If you're on a weight loss journey, support healthy weight loss. Now, what I would say is what is so important is at 30 and beyond is to be doing strength training, because we are in a position where we are losing muscle mass if we don't do anything about it. And also, when you are losing weight, we want to maintain as much lean muscle mass as possible. We don't really want to be losing muscle because muscle helps us stay strong. It also supports our metabolism. It supports our bones and our joints. So we want to keep hold of the lean muscle. And of course, if you lose weight and you've got lean muscle, you are going to look so beautifully shaped and toned. So this is why we want to keep hold of our muscle. 2 to 3 strength classes per week for building lean muscle and maintaining lean muscle. And like I said, keeping the metabolism nice and healthy. So 2 to 3 strength classes a week, I would say. I would say 1 to 2 cardio-based classes. So that's for our fitness and for our heart health. And then 1 to 2 holistic classes as well. It depends on how much time you've got, essentially. How much time you've got and what you can dedicate to that. But as a ratio, I would be prioritizing my strength workouts. Minimally 2, absolute bare minimum, really 3. So 2 to 3 of those, even if 2 of them end up being full classes and 1 of them ends up being a bolt-on, to another workout that you're doing or you haven't got much time, okay, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But ideally, two, three, then you've got a couple cardio, one to two cardio, one to two holistic as well. So the most important thing you can do is make sure that you are getting good variety. And of course, on the other end of that, make sure you are getting adequate rest because that's where we actually get stronger and our muscles repair themselves. We create the stimulus in the workouts. Then when we are not working out and we are resting, we're drinking water, we're fueling our bodies with adequate protein, we're getting enough sleep. That's where we get stronger. Without rest, it's very difficult to get stronger and we're going to be begging things like injuries. So just bear that in mind as well. So finding that balance for you. Next question, how to work out when you're feeling under the weather. The thing is, when you're not feeling very well, we have to think, what does the body actually need right now? Like if you are genuinely unwell, what does the body need? It needs to recover. And the thing with exercise is it puts our body under stress and strain. And we have to question when I'm not very well and my body is working so hard under the hood, so hard to get better and to recover, is it really a good idea to be putting my body under extra stress and strain? Or is that just going to prolong the time that it takes me to recover? As frustrating as it might be, and you might have it in your mind that, oh my gosh, no, because I plan these workouts and I really need to do them. But then we need to think about how do I support my body to be healthy? I need to help it get better first. So prioritizing things like good night's sleep the best you can, staying hydrated, and make sure you are nourishing your body. Give your body good fuel to help itself get better, rather than trying to push through, which might set you back even more. And what I would say, just trust your gut. And if you need to pause the workouts, you need to change your workouts. Say, for example, you really want to move your body and you want to do something. Well, rather than do like an aerobics or a combat or a strength workout when you're not very well, what about just do a gentle stretch or a bit of mobility or get yourself on some Pilates, yoga scape. So you're moving your body, you're mobilizing, but we're not putting our body under any extra stress or strain while we're not very well. And if it's under the weather, like just in terms of how you feel, like you're feeling meh, then I would say work out because it makes you feel better. But if you're under the weather, as in you are ill, then we really need to be thinking about, is this worth it? And sometimes it is a little bit, okay, if I've got a bit of a blocked nose, it might be fine to do something. Above the neck, maybe okay. Below the neck, something chesty, rest, just rest. And if you really need to do something, do a light stretch and, leave it at that really. But you don't want to set yourself back even more. I know it can be hard, I know it can be frustrating, but just think that the harder you rest, the faster you get back to doing what you love doing as well. What sort of weights do I need for the strength sessions? I only have hand weights. Are they okay? Hand weights are great, and they're a great place to start as well. Now, with the strength sessions, if you were serious about, really improving your strength, what I would say is investing in a barbell it's going to be really, really beneficial. So I feel like with the hand weights, we can kind of only get so far, really. Again, this is my opinion, but when you do have a barbell, you can add more weight and you can lift it in a safer way as well. There's a lot of asymmetries. We're trying to do a clean and press holding two weights. There's a lot of asymmetries. Are we doing that at the exact same time? Are we pushing up at the same time, or is one arm in front of the other? Are we leaning into one side a little bit more? When you're holding onto a barbell, it's more symmetrical and it's safer to lift heavier. And by lifting heavier, you will get better results. So I would say, and also we tend to kind of need to progress a little bit quicker as well. Like it's easier to progress with a barbell because you can just whack a little bit more weight on the end of it. But with hand weights, it's like you're going to need to go and invest in another set of hand weights. Say you've got fives and, they're kind of getting a bit easy for some tracks now. We've got to go and invest in a whole new set of hand weights. Whereas with a bar, it tends to come with a few weights. You can just whack a little bit more weight on the end. So I would say they're totally fine for now. But what I would do is be looking at investing in getting a barbell, maybe as birthday present, Christmas present. We've got some suggestions on the homepage of the website. So if you go onto the members area, just have a look at the equipment guide. There's some suggestions in there as well. A lot of squaddies have taken my word for it and literally never looked back. Trust me, it works. It works. Getting a barbell. Last two questions. This is on mindset. So how do you stay so organized and motivated? I love this. I love this question. Yeah, I mean, the honest answer is, no one's motivated 100% of the time. But the thing with me is it's so ingrained in my routine. Like I am just the person who will get up, teach my classes. I will do my own workout. I have a plan. I have a plan. I have a routine and I follow it. So I guess two things out of that really would be number one, planning ahead, always plan ahead for absolutely everything. I have a running to-do list. Day by day, I break down my day by the hour. Don't know if anyone else does this. I have several different diaries and I collate them at the end of the day. And I can't go to bed without having my almost running list of the next day. Of course, there's got to be flexibility in it somewhere. And if I don't get something done, I'll circle that thing and it will get moved on to the next day. But I have my running list. I know how my day is going to look. I'm planning ahead, and then all I have to do is just follow it. That's it. And then also, secondly, routine. And this is just with everything. But if we're looking at workouts, so for my own workouts, I treat them very seriously, like appointments. If I said that I'm going to be doing my workouts, they are going to happen. And just like I tell everyone in the squad to plan the classes for the week ahead on a Sunday, yes, I do that too. I plan my classes for the week ahead. They go in my diary. And if they need to change for whatever reason, that's fine. But they're the things that I've told myself I'm going to do. It's in black and white. That is a promise to myself. So I'm not going to let myself down because I've told myself I'm doing those workouts. So it's a kind of it's almost a bit of a mindset thing. You're working with yourself here. Promise myself I'm going to do that workout. So it's going to happen. And it does always happen. I never fail on myself. I never fail on the promises to myself. I promise myself I'm going to do it. I show up, build that relationship with yourself that you trust. You trust you are going to do the things that you set out to do. So you trust yourself. And I always think about, if I don't feel motivated, I always think about how I will feel if I don't do it. So if I don't do my workout today, how am I going to feel? And I have had days where I'm like, no, I won't do it, or "Oh, I'll do it tonight." And then it gets to the evening. I think, "Oh, I really wish we'd done that workout earlier because I really don't feel like it now." But I do it. Because you always feel so much better after moving your body. And if you want to feel better in your energy, you want to feel better in your own skin, and then working out is the best thing you can do. And when you do it, like I find when I do it anyway, it gives me more capacity for everything else, and I actually show up better for everyone else, for my family, for work, just for life in general. So I don't rely on motivation at all. I just rely on my routine, my habits, and my structure. And I make sure that everything is ready and laid out for the next day. Class plans are done. I know exactly what I'm going to be doing. I know what workouts I'm going to do. I know what time they're going to be doing. And that's it. All I need to do is show up. So the thinking is taken out of it by planning ahead and just sticking to the routine. That's exactly how I do it. And also taking the pressure off, like not being perfect. And pregnancy is a really good example of that. So there's been loads of workouts where I've said, right, I'm going to do a spin class. And then it gets to that day and I'm thinking, actually, I've not been feeling great. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that and I'm going to do strength and I'm going to see how I get on with some strength. And I just really listen to my body. So still showing up, but also not needing to hit everything exactly and be perfect, just being consistent enough to feel the difference. I hope that helps. And of course, I love it. The more you do it and the more you show up for yourself and the more you exercise, the more you fall in love with it and just the benefits that it brings to you and everyone else around you as well. Last question, everyone. How can you tell if you're making progress? Such a good question. Brilliant, because progress doesn't always show up on the scales. And I feel like so many people get hung up on scales all the time. And progress can be happening like even when you don't really feel like it is. And that's even in terms of the scales. You could be improving your body composition, your muscle to fat ratio could be massively improving, but the scales might not necessarily reflect that. So say if you join the squad and you start doing strength workouts, you could be losing body fat and improving your lean muscle mass. So people would look at you and be like, whoa, she's looking good. She's got so much more tone, shape, looking so much slimmer. Yeah, your weight might be pretty much the same. It just depends. It depends on you and depends on you as a person. But this is how I recommend tracking progress, strength improvements. So doing stronger, for example, if you do the stronger workout 2 to 3 times a week and you've done that particular release, and we always do it, we stick with a release for about roughly 4 weeks. By week 3 or 4, have you increased your weights? Are you getting stronger? There's number 1. Number 2, are clothes fitting differently? Like even if the scales are staying the same, how are your clothes fitting? Number 3, your confidence and your body awareness. How are you feeling? How are you feeling in yourself? How are you holding yourself? Your energy, your mood. How are you showing up as a person? How are you showing up in your day-to-day life? Is your energy better? Is your mood better? These are actually wins that will improve your whole entire life that we don't give enough credit to. How's your sleep? Are you sleeping deeper? So if you're even getting the same hours, so say you've always had 6.5 hours sleep, are those 6.5 hours now better? Do you feel like they're better quality? Are you getting more restorative sleep? So you wake up and actually you feel more energized. And then another thing that you can do is you can take progress pictures, probably every 6 to 8 weeks apart, and then you can actually see your body composition changing. So it depends on how you want to measure progress. But another really important one is, are you showing up for your workouts and are you being consistent? What does that look like to you? And those are massive measures of progress, like way more important than any number on a scale could ever tell you, because they're the ones that are the game changers. They're the game changers that actually change your life. And a lot of people have, say, a number that they want to hit in their head in terms of what they want to weigh. And, if they're not going towards that number, then they're not making progress. When in actual fact, along the way, they're sleeping better, they're consistent with their exercise, their muscle to fat ratio is improving. Everyone said how much happier they seem to be and how much more confident they seem to be. And they're all the reasons why we want to get to that number in the first place, right? So why don't we focus on those and let the outcomes sort themselves out? Anyway, again, that's my opinion. But interesting one, isn't it? But they're the ways that you can really measure progress. And also, it depends on what's your goal? For example, we're doing the August push-up challenge. Perfect way to measure your strength progress over the month. Perfect way to do it. Or you might think, I am so stiff. I'm going to commit to doing 2 yogas or yogascapes a week, and I'm going to measure my progress in, is my flexibility and mobility improving? So there you have it. Anyway, team, I hope that's been useful. I hope it's been really insightful as always. And I will see you in class tomorrow. Don't forget, Wednesday is 9:30 or 10. Or if that time doesn't work for you, I will see you on demand or bright and early on Thursday. Have a great, great rest of your day, everyone, and a great week. I'll see you in class.